Hello, me ladies and me gentlemen. Welcome to Mind Your Business. I hope you're well. And for the ladies, have you got your ticket for iFAB Power Lunch and Learn yet? So on that day, which is going to be 2nd March, we're going to have a series of activities that will help us to connect, share, learn in a fun way and in a fun, conducive, beautiful environment. At this event, as always, we are going to make friends, new, reconnect with old ones as well, and then learn more so that we can grow. And the focus of this year's iFAB is on wellness. The theme is Dear Woman, How Are You Really? And at the Power Lunch and Learn, which is the main event of iFAB, we are going to have wonderful panelists speaking to us on financial wellness. We are going to learn, some tips, strategies, and tools to do better with our finances. Recently I was beating myself up about something to do with money, but then I had to pause myself and to look at how far I have come, the sort of changes I've made, and how far I have come. I cannot just sit there and beat myself up. I have a lot to be grateful for, because I could never have imagined, even in my fantasies, that I could be in a place where my finances are so different. They are so much, they are better organized than before. I know what I'm using where. I even know in terms of percentages how much I'm using for what, to the point where I can tell God, okay, God, see how much I gave you for tithes. Now you have to do this for me, This is just by the way, but seriously, we're going to talk money, because that is the key dimension of our wellness that we should take care of. Look, sometimes when I don't have money, my whole mood, it affects every aspect of my wellness, my emotions, physical, everything is fine, but mentally I'm not fine because there's no money. So we're going to focus our conversation on day 2 of financial wellness, and we've got fantastic people coming to speak to us. And today, I am speaking to one of such fantastic speakers with a wealth of experiences. Oh, and may I also just say, let me just chip in that on this particular day, there's also going to be a pitch competition. Some of you may know that we've been running the Fab CEO Mastermind program. 6 finalists on that day are going to pitch. And you, if you join us on that day, or if you watch online later, you will get to see the finalists, and they will pitch, and then they also have their graduation. So we have a lot happening on that day, which is day 2 of iFAB. For now, the early bird ticket is going for 550 Ghana cedis, which is roughly $55, just in case you're buying from outside. But yeah, the rate is going to go up after 24 to the regular rate, which is going to be 650 Ghana cedis. So now is the good time to buy that ticket. And if you're thinking, I want to make a deposit just to secure, you can go on ahead. There is a link in the caption to click so that you can register. For now, let me read the bio of this amazing woman that I am going to interview. She's Toyin. She's just so beautiful, not just outwardly, but there's just something about her that is beautiful. See how I'm smiling and all happy. Let me read her bio. She is an entrepreneurial specialist, currently with MEST Africa. The MEST Africa with the J-Step program. She's also a former Women's Entrepreneurship Day organization, that's WEDO, West Africa Regional Ambassador, where she coached, mentored, trained, and empowered women and girls at all stages of their entrepreneurial journey. She also supports DGM Limited as their head of projects, overseeing Ghana to support their property software management solutions. She has upwards of 30 years of international development and enterprise experience with a concentration in NGO communities. She has in-depth experience working with NGOs such as African Foundation for Development, Afford, USAID, Remit Aid, DFID, BSO, and Comic Relief. She's currently the Deputy Board Chair for Street Children Empowerment Foundation, which is SCEF, and is passionate about coaching and mentoring within entrepreneur ecosystems, youth, women and the environment. And ladies, she's one of our panelists. Sit tight, get yourself a cup of water or something, and enjoy this conversation with Toyin on Mind Your Business.
Fab Hub Ashanti, a haven nestled at the tip of Kumasi, where fresh air meets serenity. Fab Hub Ashanti is a residential learning and event space perfect for your corporate training, staff retreat, group hangouts, and wedding receptions. With 4 rooms and 15 beds, you and your group can sleep comfortably. What makes us special? Fab Hub Ashanti is not just a space, it's a commitment. By choosing us, you support community projects empowering women and youth. Join us at Fab Hub Ashanti off Aful Junction, Abuabukesi, Kumasi. Fab Hub Ashanti, here we grow. Hi, I am Ahmed Duncan, founder of the Fabulous Woman Network. Before 2015, I was that broke girl who was stuck in her own limiting belief of not enoughness. Marianne Williamson's words, "You are a child of God," woke me up. And then I sought help to work on myself. I still invest heavily in my personal development, and so much has changed for me in the most incredible ways. My burning desire is to see an Africa in which women are empowered to thrive and impact people. I am a trainer, coach, author, social entrepreneur, and an event organizer who is passionate about helping others on their own personal development journey so that together we can all thrive as fabulous children of God. Mind Your Business is our weekly podcast which is free on YouTube. Here we share enriching content to help us all thrive as fabulous children of God. And if you prefer to work with me please go to my website, amadamkan.com/store to book a discovery call with me.
Toyin, first of all, let me just start by saying I have been curious to find out, what does your name mean? Toyin.
So Toyin is the abbreviated version. I'm Oluwa Toyin, but I'm Samota Oluwa Toyin Ashabi Dania. And the name I go by is Oluwa Toyin, and I've shortened it to Toyin, and it's God is worthy to be praised. I was born. I really love that name. So it offends me when people get it wrong because it means so much to me. So I just say, if you can't say it, don't say it. Don't spoil it. It's too precious.
Can we try maybe Lady T just to be safe?
I've been called Lady T. That's fine. I don't mind that. T.
But
I have nicknames, but my name is my name.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I think I do quite well. Toyin. Am I?
Yes. Yes. In Ghana, people want to say Tonyin because there is a Tonyin in Ghanaian.
Oh.
But I have to correct them. I say, no, it's Toyin. The ends are the other way around.
Yeah.
And people, once they understand, and I spell it, people know I want it said properly. So it's
beautiful
name. Nice intro.
Beautiful name, beautiful meaning, beautiful lady. Thank you so much for agreeing to come on Mind Your Business and even be one of our speakers. I mean, we're going to get into that. But I was reading your bio and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, she's had such an interesting life, living in Sierra Leone, living in Britain, Nigeria, and then Ghana, and doing all these things, and then having 13 siblings was just the boom for me. I'm like, no way. So I'm curious to know so much about you, but let's start from your childhood. Tell us about your favorite memory that has led to who you are today.
Wow, thank you. That is a big one, going back so long, because people think I'm so young, which is great. But I lived with my family, and that was my 4 siblings at the time in South London. And then my parents moved back to Nigeria, and then we went to Nigeria for a brief spell and then came back, and then we were with foster parents. So it's like my mum took my brother and my sister, who come immediately after me, back to Nigeria. And my older sister, myself, and my younger sister lived together with white foster parents in Essex. And it was very interesting. And then at some point, we got back around, and my little sister came back. She didn't like boys, so my brother had to live in London with some of our other relatives. And I've always been a big sister. So that's what I love the most. I would do my sister's hair on Sundays, and I loved doing their hair. And they would talk to me about their problems, about their hopes or aspirations. We'd be watching a movie and laughing at the wrong bits and finding out different things from my perspective, their perspective. And I think they really helped me be the person I am, because I went into coaching and mentoring and counseling. So I just listened, because I'd always listened, and I wanted to know what they were thinking and how they were doing, because we were effectively their parents. My parents were in Nigeria. My white foster parents had passed. So then my sister and my older sister and I were looking after our younger siblings. And it was difficult, but there was those little things that brought us together that helped us. And doing hair on Saturdays and Sundays were good because we didn't pay for it. I could do it, so we did it. And we watched movies and, got to have a sister loving, doing that. And I think that really did lead me, because I knew that this was a type of stuff. I didn't know what it was called. Even when I found counseling, I had to find it in a newspaper that described what it actually was. And then I said to my partner at the time, this is it. This is what I've been looking for. I couldn't name it because I don't even think it existed, but this was it. And I'd always been in sales because I was a good conversationalist. So I was always in sales. And I knew I'd come to the end of my sales life. Because you always use sales wherever you are. But I'd come to the end of my sales generating income for me and me hitting targets. For that reason, I needed purpose. I needed to be doing it for something. So I found the job of my dreams, and they did not respond. So I went down there and said, I haven't heard from you. And they said, well, we hadn't received your CV. I'm like, well, here it is. And gave it to them. And they literally interviewed me on the spot. And I was with them for 10 years. And the job was mine. I saw it and I thought, yes, this is mine. And it was to work in the Wandsworth Youth Enterprise Centre, working as a manager for counselling, for business counsellors, supporting 18 to 30-year-old young entrepreneurs trying to find their entrepreneurial dreams. And I've been practicing being a counsellor in all my different spaces, and I realised I didn't want to do the health element. I've been in a drug rehabilitation centre, I've been in a doctor's clinic, and I knew that wasn't right. I wanted business. I wanted business to ground me in giving someone a reason for coming to see me and having actions that we worked on together. That was my ideal work. And that's what I had. And I just loved it. And only working in Africa was going to stop from continuing to work there.
I can imagine. And you were working with such young entrepreneurs, right? Do you have
18 to 30-year-olds who had parents who wanted them to be everything other than what they wanted for themselves? So again, I was this big sister that was guiding them to really find out if entrepreneurship, one, was really where they wanted to go. Two, if their hobbies could be turned into something that could actually employ them. And that journey was either destructive for them because it wasn't what they wanted, but the way we trained them, we gave them enough skills to use those skills to go on to do something else.
Exactly.
Not just have their dream crushed, but to be able to be empowered to say, this particular idea is not going to work. And I've demonstrated it through my business planning, looking at my marketing, looking at the finances, looking at my competition. I'm definitely not going to be able to make income for myself. Then coupled with, this really isn't what you really want to do. You want to get out of being a doctor or a lawyer from what your parents have put on top of you, and you want to do anything other than that. So it's about what do you really want, and really doing the personal development work as well as the business development for their business. And I loved every minute of it.
You felt like you were.
Yeah, it was me. You wouldn't even have had to pay me to do that work. It was me. It was
I
really
can imagine. And reading your bio, and then you moved to Sierra Leone, and then you came to Ghana, I'm thinking actually a lot of people in Africa would want to move to where you were, but you decided,
yeah.
and then you didn't even go live in Nigeria, but you relocated to Ghana almost 10 years ago. First of all, that is courageous. And, a lot of us secretly fantasize about moving to another country and working from there and everything. But let's talk about the courage that led you to do this. What informed this decision? What made you take this decision?
Thank you, Emma, because it sounds like it's a big, courageous decision, but I've been coming to Ghana for 30 plus years. I have godchildren here. I had a best friend from school who was Ghanaian. Throughout the time I had lived in Nigeria, we always came to Ghana. Ghana was somewhere I knew and trusted. I then joined a fabulous organization called AFFORD, the African Foundation for Development, and they helped me to come to Ghana, to come to Sierra Leone, to go to Nigeria on trade missions, delivering my business counseling, bring in some of my business specialists to help entrepreneurs in Africa, on the continent. It was mostly West Africa and mostly the three countries. And going through the three countries and living and working for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and seeing it differently to how you do when you're on holiday. It just built up my African heart to just want to do more. I had a lot of clients in the UK, and a lot of them had the world at their oyster, and they weren't really appreciating it. And as much as I loved my job, when I came to Ghana doing the trade missions and worked with some of the guys, some that I'm still working with today, 15 years later, I sit on the board of one of my first clients, and he was, it wasn't even him. His boss was my client. He was just this amazing young, he was doing his national service, and he was just so ready to learn and wanted to know if he could suck all the information out of me. He just kept asking me questions about what England was like and what things were. And I set up his first email account. And then we were communicating by email. Remember when we had to go into, email houses to do, I think there were shops, and we had to have our time. It's like an hour, 2 hours.
Center, communication center or something.
Exactly. A communication center. It is business plan, and we are just about to next year celebrate 15 years of his organization, which is the Street Children Empowerment Foundation, rescuing street children off the streets and putting them back into education. And meeting people like that gave me so much more. And he had nothing, and he really wanted the little that I had to give him. I wanted to give him more. So it was people like Paul Semir and Seth and some of the other clients I met that made me just think, I've got roots here if I decided to live here. And the work was more with I wanted to turn that into a job, just bringing, people to Ghana and doing these, trade missions. But it was a funded project, and it had a life cycle. And at the end of the life cycle, they then offered me an opportunity to be in Sierra Leone and running the AFFORD Business Center. And I'm like, oh, yeah, great. It's lovely because I can help those entrepreneurs develop the way I did in London. But Sierra Leone is a post-conflict country. There were so many other things that people were thinking of way before business. And even if they were thinking about business, they couldn't comfortably think about business because they actually needed subsistence. I can't even say the word subsistence. They needed to earn as they ate on a daily basis. So some of the opportunities weren't really right for them, and people who didn't need the center, had money, had opportunities, didn't really need us. So it was that balance of what really is the service that I could offer. And I wasn't trying to replicate England. I was aware of the situation. I'd gone to Sierra Leone a number of times. I had Sierra Leonean friends. I had Sierra Leonean business partners. It was more about, did I feel that I was doing the purposeful work that I wanted to be doing? and it wasn't as clear in Sierra Leone as it had been in the UK. But my African experience wasn't over. So I said, well, if I can't do it in Sierra Leone, let me do it in Ghana. So I came with no expectations, but just a chance to look around, get a feel, find my feet, find my tribe, acclimatize, because as you said, there was the cultural shift. And I'm British. This is the way I speak. This is the way I'll always speak. But I'm respectful and cordial, and I've got cultural diversity in me that gives me the opportunity to listen and learn from others, and hopefully they listen and learn from me. And I didn't come thinking I knew it all. And it's what I used to say to the guys at the trade missions, you know, you're coming into something that works the way it needs to work. What you're going to do is add something that may help people see things differently, work in a different way. But you're talking about where you've come from that is 15, 20 years ahead of where they are, and they can't have it overnight. And if you expect it overnight, you're going to fail. So you need to listen, see where they're at. They're business people, so they've got it. They're earning, they've got it. They just need access to maybe some of our markets, access to some of the different ways that we approach business, so that they can see if that would fit well for them going into different markets. But retraining the people that I brought to calm down with what they know and how they know it all, and they're going to, you know, change the universe. It's like, well, no, the universe is where it's supposed to be. You're going to add value in some way, but you're not everything. What is it that they need? And start from there, and then grow and develop the relationship. I'm a people person, so I have to, you know, engage in the person first and what their motivations are and what their aspirations and inspirations are, and then I can add to it. So I got marriage offers, I got offers for jobs, I got offers for everything when I was doing the trade missions, which was great. And I thought, okay, now if I go back to London, I just didn't feel fulfilled when I went back to London. I'm thinking, and I had, you know, that itchy feeling. I needed to be somewhere else. I knew that where I wasn't fulfilling me. As much as I loved it, I left after 10 years because I needed another challenge. And luckily, it gave me my African experience that led me to say, okay, that wasn't the right African experience, but you can go and find another one. Yeah. And I'm not saying it's all perfect here because it's been challenging, but I wouldn't want it any other way.
I love that. I love that you found your purpose. You know that at this time, this is the assignment, and you know, you're just in and you're going. And, you know, even before I ask my next question, as you were speaking, I was thinking, oh my God, Amma, do you know how blessed you are to have this woman in your network? Because I was already picturing the people I know that you can support. And I was just so excited. So thank you.
I could say exactly the same thing. Reading you, fabulous ladies. I mean, you just exemplify everything that is supposed to happen when someone has a passion. You know, to bring others on board and to bring them along the journey with you, and it's with you, not for you or because of you. They're already on their own journey, but you are helping that journey with other people that you're bringing alongside them. So it goes hand in hand. We couldn't fit if we didn't appreciate each other. So therefore, it goes both ways.
Thank you. Now, as you were speaking, you mentioned challenges, and you are British Nigerian, and you've had your own culture. I mean, you mentioned your accent, for instance, which is different from how we speak here. One. And you've been here for 10 years. I mean, before you mentioned that you used to go and come and all, but how was it like settling into here? What were some of the cultural shocks, perhaps, or challenges that you faced settling into this culture, and how have you navigated that?
Again, another really interesting question, because I see everything as a challenge, and a challenge that I'm going to overcome. So I know that my colleagues help me enormously with how I speak and what is heard and what is not. So one of the first contracts I had, I was working with some really young interns, and they will say to me, you know, madam, you talk too fast. I can't understand you. And I love that, because okay. And then they'd say things like, but what do you mean? It's plenty English. It's too much English. What do you mean? And so it wasn't just about speaking slowly, it was about how I spoke and what I expected people to get out of speaking to me. And they were the best platform because they gave me so much feedback. And it really was about not dumbing down and thinking I had to speak slower. It was about the content. So it was like, okay, say good morning. Don't do all the flam around that. You know, it's good morning, it's hello, it's, you know, just the simple things. And it wasn't, I mean, these were university students and I appreciated them and they called me out on things and I called them out on things. And it was a learning process and they'd never had that before. I turned them into little young ladies. But what was really good was how much they taught me. You know, you say this stuff, but it doesn't mean that to us. You need to say maybe this, and this. And I'd look at them and say, yes, but you need to make sure you get over to a decision maker exactly what your service is. And you don't know what it is. So I can see that's a training need. So I would then go back and I did a manual for them. So they had a Bible of how they'd work and how they'd interact with different clients. It was selling the Hagelor product, which is a product which was an alarm system that incorporated the police, the security company, and a soft tribe with putting all the, you know, software together to link the three people together. And what I wanted the girls to understand was they had competition, there was a price point, they're collecting money, they need to look like young ladies, they've got a car that drops them to each of their clients' offices, and they need to look the part. So it was a whole learning curve for both of us. You know, it was a two-way process. And I said to them, this is a manual. If there's something in here that's disciplinary and you don't like it, you're agreeing to it. If this is the reward system, you're agreeing to it. So if it happens, you can't turn around and say anything to me. And they thought that it was great because it was never going to happen to them. And then one of them I had to give a stern talking to and like, see what's in this book? That's what you agreed to. I do this to you. And it's that thing about understanding that you're seen and not heard in Ghana. So they didn't have this interaction with their teachers anytime through school. And here they were with a project manager who wanted their input and also liked them to be able to groom them so that they could actually be better people. And it was nice for them to have that at that early stage. And bumping into them now or seeing them online, it's like, oh yeah, we remember you, you know, big sister Toyin, you know, bossing us about. I'm like, yeah, you remembered it though, haven't you? And it is more that, and they were like my little sisters because they were young, they were dynamic, they were fantastic graduates, you know, to have even got the internship. You know, some of them, I'd give them a spreadsheet and say, could you just make sense of that? And it's just come, so you need to do that, you do this, you click there and it opens up. I'm like, oh gosh, see how good you are, you know, see how amazing you are. I was like, yeah, but it's simple. Not to me, I can't do it, you can do it. And just making sure they had a space to just be their fantastic, fabulous self. Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, as you speak, I can even get it that you've always really been a big sister and you have that at heart and you've always been big on mentorship. And I'm curious to know for you personally, what role has mentorship played in your life to help you become who you are today?
So I've had the most amazing mentors in my life. And when I say amazing, they challenge me, they support me, they champion me, they turn up for me. When I first got into this space of coaching, mentoring, counseling, I really had to find someone who would coach and mentor me in a way that I wanted to coach and mentor. So I dashed quite a lot of them. And part of my qualification was to have a coach, a mentor, and a counselor. So I looked for some and I couldn't find any. And then I met people that I liked, who had skills that I liked, that I looked for. But I needed them to be able to hold me if I gave them something challenging. So they needed to be qualified. So the first one was a white male, a gay white male, and he literally challenged the life out of me. He was one of my bosses at Wandsworth Youth Enterprise Centre. And he just said from the minute that he met me, he knew I was right for the job and he'd been looking for someone just like me. He lives on a massive farm in Wales now somewhere, and he helped me with NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. He was studying it and he wanted to use it on us. And, you know, it was really great to see the difference, and I experienced it and I wanted to deal with it, but it had a few areas that I wasn't comfortable with, and that was fine with him. But the way he worked with me was very existentially. So it was here and now, a lot of challenge. You want to do this, you want to move here. Why are you stopping? What's blocking you? Get over the blocks, get over the blocks. And just a sounding board of my life. You know, you just need someone who's got you, and you know that there's nothing, confidentiality is there. So yes, when it came to getting this big job, because I'd been a manager and now I was going for a directorship, I needed a coach to coach me through my application and how I represented myself. I hadn't done a CV in 10 years. So it was like, I am this wonderful person and I look after these young children and they do this, this and that. And it was like, so what? You know, well, so what? That's who I am, but expand it. And we didn't have ChatGPT then. So I had to find myself and go into my experience and really dig out what the actual application wanted to know about me. And in doing that process, I took this person on as my mentor, big sister coach. And whenever I have a moment where I think I need supporting that's not from my tribe, I pick up the phone to her. And that's what I like in my life. So that's what I want to be for others. Because I have it. It means so much to me. It's like water, really.
Yeah, that's so valuable to have someone you can call, bounce off idea on, cry on sometimes, share positive news with, someone to challenge you. And I'm so big on that. And that's one of the things I value about the Fabulous Woman community, that the ladies, you know, they are just so supportive and oh my goodness. Anyway.
Intentional with their support, and also confidential, because some things are not for everybody. And if you're not in the room, it's none of your business. You know, really, that's how I feel. And I really like that one of my mentors was a Ghanaian woman who wanted to move to Ghana, but didn't quite do it, but did it through me and enjoyed my development doing it, and wrote a book about moving to Africa, but Ghana, and featured me in that book. And it's really, really interesting to go back in time to remember that time when I wasn't not sure, but I had some doubts and wondering if this was really the right thing to do. And I said, well, I won't know till I find out. And because I'm an experientialist, I have to know myself. No one can tell me not to do something, or I have to know for myself that it didn't work for me. Like I did with Sierra Leone, I had to make that decision. And when I left Sierra Leone, Ebola came. So it was really, it was a scare tactic for me, because like, my gosh, I chose the right time to leave. But there were some people that I knew back in Sierra Leone who had not got that opportunity to have left in time before Ebola came. So that was quite a sad time for that, because I handed over all of my work virtually. I hoped to save the program some money by not having expenses for me to go back to hand over. And that saved my life, I would like to say. Yeah.
And God brought you to
yeah.
So speaking of God bringing you to us, God is bringing you to Kumasi on 2nd March, because you are one of our fabulously generous panelists for iFAB Power Lunch and Learn. First of all, thank you again for saying yes, coming all the way from Accra to join us, to share with us. And the focus of this particular day is going to be on financial wellness. First, what made you say yes to us?
Who could say no to you? First and foremost. And secondly, I'm running a program with some young ladies about their side hustles. And you really understand that people don't know about financial management. And I work with a wonderful lady called Cassandra, who did some training on financial literacy. And it's something that I really want to empower in our young ladies, because once they understand it, they can save for the mountain, and they will feed their families. They will, turn over. It's just that key that opens the door to what financial inclusion, financial management, financial mismanagement, what it looks like, and to save yourself the time to not make some of the mistakes some of us have made. I've made a few in my time because I'm human, but some of us have made that. Just a little bit of financial literacy can help the well-being. So it fits. So if it fits, it's meant to be. And it came at the right time. So
yeah. And what are you looking forward to most at iFAB? This is going to be your first iFAB.
I would love to come for the whole weekend, but unfortunately I can't. So I will promise that in 2025, I will be a weekend participant in more ways than I am now. Because I really love what you're doing, and I would love to see the faces when they come and how they leave, empowered and impacted with all this goodness that now is going to be part of their life, and how they implement it in their lives. It's not enough. Boot camps could last 2 months if I had my way, but you need to start with an immersion, and with that immersion, which is your weekend, they'll get to see some things and meet some people and continue conversations over that weekend that hopefully can shape their lives and enrich their lives, because they're already coming with enrichment, but it's to share some of that enrichment. And I find the best solutions with some of our youngsters. I love our young girls. They teach me an awful lot, as do some of my more seasoned ladies. But I think giving the floor and space to our young girls who've been told, you're too known, don't speak, to give them that voice that says, yes, you can speak and your ideas are valid, and you need to share them, and you need to speak as loudly as you can, because the person listening is listening for someone like you and can't find you in your silence.
Yeah. I like that. Come find you in your silence. Oh my goodness. You have shared so much, and I feel blessed already. And I know that whoever is listening, whatever message is in there for them, whether they are coming for the conference or not, they will pick it. But before we let you go, I have a few sentences that I'm going to start, and then you just have to finish them. Okay? Do you feel ready?
No problem. I am very ready.
Okay, so you just answer with a short sentence to complete it. If I could advise my younger self in one short sentence, I would say,
just try it. You just don't know till you try it. Only say no after you've tried it.
Absolutely. Second one, I am fabulous because
I was born. Born to impact, born to love, born to share. Out here.
Oh my God, I love that. I love that. I was born. Yeah, fabulous because I was born. Duh. I love it. And then the final one book that has greatly helped me in life is?
There's so many. There really, really are. And Maya Angelou has done a lot for my learning. The Bluest Eye, when I read that, it taught me about not just racism, it's about us and how we see ourselves. And it is, when you get what you think you want and it is not it, what do you do with that? How do you move on when you've made this your single thing in life, and then it's not really what it was meant to be? That book had a profound effect on me.
I have to look for it.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. I have it. I'll bring it with me. I have it because I look at it all the time, because it just reinforces. It just reinforces.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. And also, how do we find you? For anyone watching and listening and thinking, oh my God, I need to just connect with this woman. How do we find you? I know how I found you.
Well, you can find me on LinkedIn. That's the place I like to be the most because it's my professional side. So it's just my name, Toyin Dania, on LinkedIn. I am on Facebook, but I go on there so rarely these days. I find I really prefer LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram, and it's the other way around, Dania.Toyin, so that people who really want to find me, if they can't find me, they have to keep trying. Yeah, and I don't really do X, Twitter, but that's where you can find me. And I've got some fabulous things coming up where I will have better social media for them. And I'm really looking forward to being able to share them, hopefully by the time I come to your event. But I'm doing an event next week, the 15th and 16th of February at the University of Ghana, and it's the Studentpreneur actual festival. So Studentpreneur Africa Festival, and there's quite a lot of us doing some speed mentoring and some awareness about some of the problems that are in the global society and how our young minds can actually start bringing some solutions from an African perspective, and all being in the same room at the same time. So we've got students, we've got angel investors, we've got entrepreneurs, we've got micro entrepreneurs. I'll send it to you so you can have a look at it, but I really am going to enjoy just being in the room with some of our youngsters of today, making an impact. I get to see them at MEST, but it's really nice to see them at other venues doing impactful, wonderful things, and me being part of it. So I'm going to be part of the speed mentoring team and supporting our young people to just be succinct in what their ask is. So when you say, how do they get hold of me, I need a succinct ask when they do get hold of me, so that I can help them better. And it's better they spend time formulating that before they speak to me, so that they can actually get the most out of me and be one of the select ones that I say yes.
Toyin, I have enjoyed sitting at your feet, listening to your beautiful British accent, and just saying to myself, oh my God, Amma, like, see how blessed you are. See, I have to try a Nigerian accent. See how blessed you are now, eh? To know this woman. Oh, I feel so blessed because I know so many women like myself who need women like you to guide us. You know, we are doing so much, but how do we show it? How do we tell our stories? How do we get the support we need so that we can go bigger? And that's why God brings angels like you into our lives to help shape us, and then, so that we can move forward. So thank you so much for what you do. Thank you for joining me this evening, and thank you in advance for coming to Kumasi and being a blessing to us. Thank you so much, Toyin.
Thank you. Right back. Thank you, right back. This has been so much joy. I didn't know what to expect. I listened to your other recordings, but everyone's different, and this has been my version of our real talk, and I've really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for inviting me.
My pleasure.
Fab Hub Ashanti, a haven nestled at the tip of Kumasi, where fresh air meets serenity. Fab Hub Ashanti is a residential learning and event space perfect for your corporate training, staff retreat, group hangouts, and wedding receptions. With 4 rooms and 15 beds, you and your group can sleep comfortably. What makes us special? Fab Hub Ashanti is not just a space, it's a commitment. By choosing us, you support community projects empowering women and youth. Join us at Fab Hub Ashanti off Aful Junction, Abuabukesi, Kumasi. Fab Hub Ashanti, here we grow.
Ladies, I hope you enjoyed this beautiful conversation with Toyin. Sometimes I look at her picture and I'm thinking, she's so full of light, and she's just so, not just beautiful outwardly, which obviously she is, but there's just something about her. And I feel so blessed, not only to have her in our network, but for her to be willing to come all the way to engage with us at iFAB, on day 2, Power Lunch and Learn. Ladies, for those of you coming, I am so excited for you that we get to meet and sit with such wonderful people like her. And even if you're not coming, we'll share the recording later and everything. But don't fret or anything. Whatever God does is good. If it's in His will for you to be there, I know you're going to show up. If this is not for you at this time, it's also fine. Whatever is yours will come to you in due time with ease. And the Holy Spirit just reminded me to say that if you're looking to come for iFAB or you're wishing, desiring, but you feel you cannot afford in full, as you may know or you may not know, we always have scholarships for women who can genuinely not afford to pay in full. We have some wonderful donors who always pay a portion. So all you have to do is fill the registration link and indicate how much you can pay. So this scholarship, we call it partial scholarship, is for day 2 only. That's the Power Lunch and Learn, where Toyin will be there. So if you feel that you can afford, but you cannot afford in full, you can afford only half the price, a quarter, 50 cedis, whatever you can sow as a seed for you to be there, sow it and then come. So you just indicate the amount, fill the form, and then there's a number to call, 0244 339970, or one of us can also reach out to you. Yeah, but I want to encourage you to call, because our teams reach out to such people and finding you becomes difficult. So yeah, you can also call us that, hey, I've just filled the form, I've said that I'm not able to pay full, this is how much I am able to pay. Definitely sow a seed. Don't worry that you feel this seed is too small. No seed is too small. Just sow a seed and then come. Let's learn, let's share, connect, relax, have some fun, and then get to know more so that we can grow and grow and grow. Someone asked me today when I was in St. Louis School to speak to the ladies, and someone asked me, how do you develop yourself? Attending such conferences is one of my biggest ways of developing myself, in addition to reading, learning, and all that. This is how we develop, gain confidence, so that we can grow and do what God wants us to do. So I look forward to you signing up for iFAB Power Lunch and Learn. It's going to be a beautiful afternoon. Wear your African prints with a matching fascinator, all those things, and then just come, let's rock and enjoy the conversations and go together. I look forward to seeing you. Please share this video with someone who was not here. Check out the links that I've also added to the caption with regards to what Toyin is doing, or the programs that she mentioned. And of course, the link to purchase the tickets are also in the caption. So check it out. Sign up, and I look forward to seeing you at iFAB 2024. Toodles. Bye.
Mind Your Business is one of our free resources available on YouTube. And if you prefer to work with me one-on-one as your coach, as a consultant, or as a trainer, it starts with a discovery call. Head to amaduncan.com/store to book a discovery call with me.